Welcome to the show. My guest today, Chris Sambar, Senior Vice President, AT&T FirstNet. Chris, welcome to the discussion.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And Stacy Schwartz, Vice President, AT&T Public Safety and FirstNet Solutions. Stacy, welcome to the discussion.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And a lot of people will say, well, doesn't that already exist? Why can't I just use AT&T's network, right? Why do we need a separate network? I mean, maybe Chris, jump a little bit about why this was needed versus just the regular airwaves.
First is, if I separate voice and data communications. So first on the voice side, Stacy referenced the September 11th attacks. Lots of different agencies from all around the country came to assist in that effort on the cleanup and the aftermath, but a lot of them couldn't communicate with each other because they were on different radio networks, and those radio networks didn't talk to each other. So first responders' initial problem that they were trying to solve is, can we get one network that we can all communicate on? And then as the early 2000s went on, it became clear that data, high-speed data on a device in your hand, in your vehicle as a first responder or public safety is going to become really important. They said, now we want a network that not only does voice where we can all talk, but it also does data and we can all communicate using data. And so that became the impetus behind FirstNet. And so the initial reaction from the wireless community was just use our networks. So we've all had that experience when you're at a concert, a parade, a 4th of July show. It gets really busy, lots of people. And you tell me, how does your phone work at the 4th of July show at the mall downtown? And so public safety wanted something that was going to treat their communications differently than everyone else's, meaning whenever they needed to get through, they could get through. They're the ones taking care of us, protecting us. So they wanted that type of connectivity. And so that's where FirstNet came from. That's where the legislation came from. Let's build a network, a physically separate, independent network that is just for first responders and just for public safety in America.
We're being asked to also expand our coverage in areas where commercially I'm not sure every provider would necessarily go. So there's a whole impetus to create a platform and coverage model in rural areas for Native American communities, et cetera, where there necessarily hasn't been coverage before. Chris referenced a physically separate or dedicated aspect of the network. There's a security aspect. We all know that as much as we want the folks that are responding to disasters or emergencies to keep us safe, we need to keep their information and some of the critical aspects of information protected.
We fully encrypted the core of that network, not typical on our commercial network or any other commercial network. And in the federal space, when I go out and I talk to federal versus state folks don't necessarily understand why does physically separate infrastructure matter. The federal space, they completely get it, because if I'm going to look at top secret information at my desk in the federal space, I have a separate computer that does that, because that's the safest way to do it.
This is not just another commercial network. This isn't just business as usual. This is a very well thought out, well constructed platform that I might mention wasn't just constructed by a commercial provider. Public safety gave input and information and lots of exacting of what it was required to make this platform unique to the FirstNet authorities, so that whoever built this network had to comply with their requirements.